Anyways, now we have Alexandra from CJC St. Theresa's Convent who will be presenting her speech. Alexandra, please.
So we've all heard the first speaker come up and sing the famous Beatles song, When I'm 64. But allow me to recall the lyrics. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine, birthday greetings and a bottle of wine? If I've been out there to a quarter to three, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? In their song, the Beatles play 64 as the age when one is elderly and in a sorry state, losing hair, discarded, disgraded, disintegrated, and dependent on the goodwill of one's family. The Beatles touch the raw nerves of many of those who have reached their prime. Yes, I regard 64 as the prime of life, for when I'm 64, I shall be at the height of my life, contrary to the popular belief. When I'm 64, I hope to have accomplished most of my life goals. I hope to have traveled, attained the academic qualifications that I wanted, worked my dream job, given back to my parents, gotten married, and had children. Well, doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. Firstly, I want to marry and have children. And no, before you ask, I'm not from the Singapore Development Unit, here to convince you that there is a need for marriage and children because of the declining birth rates of the country. My motives are not political, but rather personal. For we must face the fact that nobody wants to be lonely. Everybody wants to go through life with knowing that they're not alone, that there's somebody there with them through all the good and the bad times. Having a hand to hold does make the roller coaster ride seem a lot safer, doesn't it? It does. And I'm pretty sure that if I had that hand to hold by the time I'm 64, I'd still be sane. As for children, I guess having children is sort of like your second chance in life. My mother, in her worst moments, said that she had a trying and exasperating time while I was growing up. But I think she had me confused with my sister. My dad philosophized that a child is a reflection of yourself, that it is one's flesh and blood. Getting to raise it is like an opportunity to grow up all over again. And based on your personal experiences, you'd want to raise this child well, avoiding the mistakes that you've made because you know what it feels like. Doesn't that make you think about how you'd like to raise your future children? I do hope that when I'm 64, I'll have children that I've raised well, and that I'll be married to a wonderful lifelong companion. Secondly, I hope to have traveled most of Europe. Okay, so almost everybody wants to travel the world someday, but for me, just Europe is enough. You know why? I've got so many friends telling me that after JC they're going to go to Korea, to Japan, to New York, then to America, then to Australia, then to Germany, and I'm just like, slow down. Let's check your wallet. That's right, you have a library card. It's not going to get you anywhere. So you were saying? But for me, I just want to go to Europe because it's my favorite continent. It's so full of captivating history, and I just want to visit some of the significant Nazi period sites, some old castles from reigning monarchies from hundreds of years ago, and so much more. You know, I can't even begin to describe how much I want to see in Europe. Another reason is probably because I'm from the Netherlands, but I've never really lived there. I lived there merely a year after I was born, so I really don't know what daily life in Holland is like, except for, you know, being in a baby's crib. Unlike my other half of my ancestry, which is Indonesian, I know practically nothing about my Dutch ancestry. Being in Singapore, I go to Indonesia twice a year, and I feel fully at home there because I know so much about its history, the landscape, the customs, and yeah, I just feel really at home there. But of course, I have been to Holland multiple times. I just feel like I owe myself a Dutch living experience. When I was, my distance from my Dutch culture revealed itself to me in 2010 when I was doing a stint as a Youth Olympic Games announcer. I was quite embarrassed when I found it difficult to converse with a Dutch athlete, and that's when I realized that I'd lost my Dutch culture. So basically, living in Singapore has taught me that language does define who you are. to a certain extent. And so basically, when I'm 64, I hope to have had children that I've raised well and gotten married to a wonderful lifelong companion, and of course had my questions about European life answered. Thank you for listening to my life story, and God bless.
My favourite moment and my favourite quotation from the day, thank you Alexandra, when I'm 64 I'll be at my prime. Well, I'm getting closer all the time, so I really hope I will be at my prime by the time I reach 64. Thank you very much, you've entertained me.